Hey everybody, welcome to Gunocast South Africa bi-weekly review. It used to be a monthly review, but now because we've been chatting with the team, we have a bigger team of people that we can pull from. So we're going to be doing it every 2 weeks from now on. And there's so much news to get through. Last time we took much longer than an hour and a half because of all the news that we have to cover in a month. So a lot of things are happening in our beloved Arsenal. A lot of exciting things. So everyone, I'm sure, is very excited for today's pod to share their views because the club has been making moves and doing things, and we can have a lot to talk about. So let's get started. Let's start in transfers because. Oh, and remember those who are watching just to like, comment, and subscribe so that we can interact with you and hear your views, because it's not just our views as the panelists, it's also those commenting so that we can interact with what South African Gunners are experiencing and feeling, and what's their point of view as South African Gunners. So, yes, so today we have one new Gunner on who's now going by Gunner for Life. So that's Langton. We have Ryan joining us, who's been on twice before, and Ryan, I think, has been on 3 times before, so he's becoming a regular now. So I think what I want to do is I want to ask each of us to think about, in the past we've asked us we've asked as an introduction, what is your favorite players? Let's ask you, what is your favorite underrated player? So, like, which player do you feel is the most underrated as an Arsenal player? Because there's some players who get their props. I mean, everyone loves Henry, everyone loves Bergkamp, everyone loves Ian Wright. So there's some players who are very well rated, and then there's some that are overrated. We won't go there. But who would you say is your favorite underrated player that doesn't get the plaudits that they deserve? I'll start with Renai.
Underrated player. This is of all time, not from the current squad, right?
All time, yeah.
All time. I would give it to.
Okay, we're going to come back to you. Ryan, do you have yours?
I think because we discussed it earlier, and it has to do with the jersey wearing. There are 3 that I'm going to say, and it's so tricky, man, because there's not enough time. There's so many Arsenal players that we could get through. But I'm going to say Emmanuel Petit. I'm going to say Koscielny, and I'm going to say Theo Walcott. And the reason I'm actually going to focus on Walcott is because, he went through that period where he was demanding that he should play as a striker, and Wenger gave it a go, and it didn't really work necessarily. And then he had moments of brilliance. And then he was kind of one of those players who was incredibly fast and unbelievably talented. And then he never really fully lived up to the standard that we had expected from him. There was a period where he was going to become one of the best players in the world, and then he kind of dipped off a little bit. So between those 3, I'm going to say Petit, I'm going to put aside because he achieved so much in his career and he's just a legend of the game. And also because he wasn't at Arsenal for an incredibly long period of time. Koscielny, I think, was an unbelievable captain and an incredibly skilled player. He could play with both feet, which a lot of people don't actually realize. He was actually quite a talented individual. Very good defender, good finisher in front of goal. Quite short, but very strong. But I'm going to go with Walcott. And the reason is, man, that guy scored some goals. That guy could run past individuals. And I think in terms of wingers on the counter-attack, one of the best I've ever seen. And I don't think he gets too many plaudits because I think we consider him a disappointment to some degree.
Yeah. And he also, he took the number 14 jersey, which has got a lot of pressure on it, and he didn't shy away from it as a young guy. So I think it kind of leads into the first signing that we're going to talk about later, which is Gyökeres, who's taken the 14. So very, very underrated and a great guy. And he's actually a great pundit. I actually really like listening to him as a pundit. He's very considered, and he's like a recent player, and he's gone through difficult times as a player with, as you said, the different stuff that he's gone through in his career. So I really like him as a pundit, and I think he's a great example of like Clausenal, because he's just like such a classy player on and off the pitch. Good shot. So I'll go with mine next. I would say someone from the current squad. I think David Raya is quite underrated. I actually think he's world class. I think not a lot of people speak about that, but to get 2 Golden Gloves in a row and to come in to a team where there's a fan favorite in Aaron Ramsdale and come in and just do it very professionally. He didn't ever speak bad about Ramsdale. He didn't ever he just did his job, and he's got one of the highest cross claims in Europe. I think probably the highest cross claims in Europe. He's improved his he's good with ball play. He's good with passing. He then has had an up and down thing with penalties, because there was a time when he wasn't very good at penalties. Then he improved, and then he had that double save against Atalanta. Was it Atalanta? Yeah, Atalanta. And then the penalty shootout against Man United, he was shocking. So it's just I don't know what's going on with his penalties, but I'm sure he'll get there. And I know that goalkeepers normally actually peak in their late 20s, early 30s. So I don't think we've even seen the best of him. And I do believe that many people will say, yeah, this guy's world class soon. He'll get the plaudits soon, but I don't think he's getting enough of the plaudits yet. So I'd say David Raya. Langton, who do you say? And just tell us a bit about yourself, how long you've been supporting Arsenal, because you're new to the podcast.
Hello guys, for the second time. Okay, my name is Langton Kumalo. I started supporting Arsenal, I think it was way back in 96, 95, somewhere there. I think it's so funny. Okay, I'm from Zimbabwe. So there was this channel on television that was called Game of the Week. So they used to show us the highlights and maybe one match for 30 minutes or so. So then that's where I started liking Arsenal. But it was just okay. I'm also playing for juniors. I think most of you guys might know about. There's a big team from Bulawayo. It's called the Highlanders. It's like Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs of here. So I was playing for junior team there. Then it was just started loving soccer, and I didn't have any favorite player that time at Arsenal, but I just loved those jerseys. I mean, I was just from a poor family. I couldn't afford to buy one, and then it came to a point that it's Arsenal, and then it was the time when Arsene Wenger was coming, so it was Arsenal, and then I started loving that, and then the rest is history. I've been an Arsenal supporter from all that time.
From 96. So you didn't think Arsenal who like Ian Wright?
No, trust me, I knew about Ian Wright and all the players, but I liked Arsene Wenger before the players. That was me. I think because of the name, it was Arsenal, something like that. Then
there's some people who started supporting in the 2000s. They thought Arsene Wenger started Arsenal. That's how uneducated they were as Arsenal fans. Was that you?
Someone there, yeah. But otherwise, to the topic there, I think for me, I'll say I'll go with Jack Wilshere. He was a very, very good player, but despite the injuries that he had, I think he didn't mature enough to a player that would have been. And I think also the Arsenal fans, we didn't. Yes, we loved him. I think because he was an Englishman, but he wasn't given that much respect that he deserved from my point of view as an Arsenal player. That's Jack Wilshere. And then to the current players, guys, I love Trossard. I don't know why. I always see guys here saying Trossard must go. But I think the guy must be given. I know he comes on as a substitute or he doesn't play for 90 minutes. But I like the way he plays, the way he takes terms. I mean, there's a game, if you remember, I think it was against Manchester City. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember which game. I think the guy played the game of his life. But because it was Trossard, he didn't play the full 90 minutes. But that day, I became
Right, he
sad
is very
when he was
underrated. He's very underrated,
sorry.
and he was the second highest goal scorer in the 23-24 season.
Exactly. Yeah. So for Trossard, to me, I think he's the most underrated player at the current Arsenal squad. Yeah.
Good shot. So have you thought of yours now? Renai, your camera?
Sorry, I just.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Let's just continue with the discussions on
As
transfers. Yeah?
huh?
What happened to your
Yeah,
camera?
as much as
Oh, there we go. It's back.
okay. Yeah. So I would say mine, the most underrated, I would say, would be Podolski.
Yes.
At the time, at the time in which he came when we were laughing stock at the time. I mean, the players that he was around and the profile that he was at the time, he had a very thunderbolt shot that used to make you hopeful whenever he has the ball. You're like, if this guy can just shoot, something can happen. So yeah, I'd say he's one of the underrated guys, and over and above him being one of the players that played for Arsenal, is also a very true Arsenal supporter as well. So yeah, I'd say him and Jack Wilshere.
Good choices, guys. Okay, so let's get on to the transfers. So we'll start with the big one. Number 14, Victor Gyökeres. And Ryan, how do we say it again? Like, tell us again how to say it. You sent it on the group.
Gyökeres.
Gyökeres.
Victor Gyökeres.
Victor Gyökeres.
Yeah, except to be honest, I got that video where they told you exactly how to pronounce it, and then I heard him speak, and I swear he said Gyökeres. So I don't know, man. It's one of the two. I'm going to say Gyökeres until someone corrects me.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so Victor Gyökeres, and what are you guys thinking? What's your thoughts? Are you guys excited? Some of you know that I wasn't the biggest fan, but I'm starting to come around. So yeah, I'm just excited, I think, because of how much he pushed for the move and how dedicated he was to joining Arsenal, and his agent having some of the fee waived and him getting some of his salary waived. So he just really showed a lot of determination to join, which is really cool. Oh, there are comments here that I haven't been checking. So we got Chapang saying, sorry, let's go Gunners. And then we've got him saying that Vieira is underrated, which is an interesting take. And then, sorry, I just need to read these comments. The Verminator, aka Thomas Vermaelen, was solid at the back and played for left back for Belgium, yet he never mentioned among our solid defenders. I agree, Spusiso. Him and Koscielny are actually our highest goal scorers. I think Gabriel has just overtaken Thomas Vermaelen. But Vermaelen was also one of our captains, and he wasn't lauded as much as, and I think he actually provided a bit of stability at the time when all of our captains were leaving. Whenever we made someone a captain, they left like the next season or the season after. It was a very difficult time, but sorry, getting distracted by the comments. But thanks for your comments, guys. Those are good shots in the underrated category. Chapang, you'll have to say why you think Vieira is underrated. We need some more context there. I don't know if he is underrated, but just share a little bit more of your theory. And going back to Gyökeres. Ryan, you can go.
I think it's such an interesting one, and what's blown me away, which I suppose we shouldn't be surprised about, is the fact that as soon as he joined Arsenal, everyone was saying they're not sure if he's the right fit, and they're not sure if he's Premier League ready. You know how it goes. Even Rio Ferdinand has now said he's so happy that United didn't sign him, which is wild. It's
Ferdinand is a big flip-flopper. Ferdinand, do you know that he's bankrolled by the Qatari government and stuff. So he's a simp. Yeah.
Yeah, I can believe that. I can believe that 100%. To be honest, though, I was in your boat. I really like the idea of Sesko just because of what he brought to us and the way we play. I just think, mainly because we play to the wings, a lot of the goals that a striker would score for Arsenal are kind of messy. And that's where Havertz has actually done quite well. And that's where Marino did quite well. The ball bounces around, he gets the odd pass, and he can finish. And I felt like Gyökeres maybe needs transition football. He needs direct football. He needs to receive the ball at his feet. So I thought initially, maybe he's not the ideal signing. As time has gone by, I've realized two things that are really important. The first thing is that what he brings is a maturity that I think Sesko maybe doesn't have yet. That's what I'm gathering. He's learned how to win. He has won, and he brings immediate success with him. And if you look at our signings, Mosquera, Zubimendi, and Gyökeres, they all seem ready to play, man. They're all ready to challenge for a starting position in Arsenal. And I think maybe Sesko would have taken a couple of years. A lot of people are questioning whether Havertz will start ahead of Gyökeres. I don't think he will. I don't think that's the plan. I think Gyökeres comes straight in, and I think he scores. And I think the most important thing for this signing is actually Arteta, man. He needs to find a way to allow Gyökeres to play properly. If we continue playing the exact same football we play now, then I think it's going to be difficult for him. So I think we need to help him. I really think we need to build our team around him and Saka. It's going to be tricky, but we need to figure that out. Once we do, 20 goals. Easy. I'm confident. I'm
20
happy.
goals in the league or in all competitions?
First season, I'll say all competitions. I think he will get 20 goals in the league. How long did it take Aubameyang? Was it his second season where he put in 20 odd? I can't remember how long it took him. He adapted quite quickly. I think he's 6'2", so he's a bit shorter than Isak. He's shorter than Haaland. He's not the tallest striker in the world. He's incredibly quick, though. Very good finisher, very strong. Yeah, I think he's going to be a success. I really do, and I think he's going to end the jinx, the Liga Portugal jinx.
Oh, dude.
We're having Levi join us now. Levi, are you able to hear us?
Yeah.
Cool. Can you put your camera on?
Hey, man, I'm busy, in the kitchen doing stuff. I just came in to listen, guys. You do your thing.
Okay, just chip in when you want to. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so I will do.
Cool. So who would like to Renai, can you talk? Can you put yourself on mute, Levi?
Yeah, for sure.
Renai, what do you think about the signing?
It's a big signing for us, and for the longest of time, we've always went for potential, and I think the plug and play that Gyökeres brings into our setup, it's quite encouraging, because I honestly was against the idea of us signing Sesko for the exact same reasons as to we are banking on potential, on something that may produce the result or it might not. So the instant impact that he brings, I mean, he's a proven goal scorer. We've been struggling with chances that we've been missing out on, and not having a proven scorer. I mean, for the longest of time, you would find a midfielder like a Saka or a winger they've been the guys that are giving us the goals, but we've really struggled to replace Oba since he left. Ever since he left, we never really replaced him with an out-and-out striker. So I think the impact that comes with that, it puts us in a very interesting position, and I see him scoring 20 goals in the league.
Okay, nice. Good call.
In the league, I'm putting my head on the block. 20 goals, I do see him getting that 20 goals.
We've got to put our head on the block. But what are your thoughts on the impact that Jesus had, even as a false nine in 22-23? I know he didn't follow it through, and he got injured in that World Cup which derailed our season. Him along with Saliba got injured and derailed our season. Even a false 9 in Jesus elevated us that much because he was a sharp shooter and did well. So I'm sure Gyökeres will do well as well.
Now if we are to discuss tactics, I think this would be a very controversial take, but if you are to have a double striker of Gyökeres with Jesus, that would be a banger. And I'll tell you why. Jesus knows how to hold on to the ball. He knows how to lay the ball to the guy who can finish. So I think we can we can try it out in certain games, especially in games where we're playing a team that is defensive, like a Newcastle. I think if we are to have someone who can be able to unlock the defense, Gyökeres will always be running. If you've seen how he's been playing for Sporting, he is a guy who will always be running, looking for the ball, looking for those chances. So if we do not get rid of Jesus this season, I think as an impact player, that's another angle that we can utilize in order for us to unlock those stubborn defenses.
I think that's an interesting take because you've got Zubimendi in there as well, so he can feed the ball to both of the strikers quite well. The only issue I would have is maybe how it would affect Saka. But as you say, try it out, change it up, try different things,
I think it could work if you have traditional wingers, like in this traditional 4-4-2. Saka then would move to left wing, Martinelli would move to right wing, and then you could do a 4-4-2. So I think they would provide more width than you have. I would even play Havertz with Gyökeres. I think it's not as controversial as you think, Renai. I think it actually could work in certain games. What's your thoughts in the comments, guys? What do you think on a 4-4-2 as an option? And who would you drop out of your midfield if you played a 4-4-2? Would you drop would you play a Rice at DM and then Odegaard at CM, or would you need more defensive cover because you're having another attacker and drop Odegaard and play Havertz or Jesus at false 9 or 10 false 9 / and then play Gyökeres at centre forward? What's your thoughts? Renai, you brought it up, and then I'll go to Langton afterwards. What's your thoughts on my question about the midfield?
The midfield, I can play Rice as a DM. I would allow our captain to continue playing as a 10. So which formation are we going for here?
It'll be a 4-4-2. So essentially, you'd have your wingers. But then I don't know what you would do with your inverting of your. So it is controversial because it kind of ripples through the team. I mean, out of position, we do play a 4-4-2, but out of possession, we play a 4-4-2. We press 4-4-2. But when we
out of position, it's 4-3-3.
It's 3 because Timber tends to bomb down the right. Lewis Skelly, it's actually a 2-3-4. I don't know. I'm getting confused. 2-3. Do you know what I mean? Because Saliba and Gabriel hang back. Lewis Skelly joins Zubimendi and Rice in the midfield. Odegaard joins the front line because he's pressing. I mean, not pressing. He's in possession. So I think I'm getting confused, but I think you guys get what I'm trying to say. Is that we have different structures for when we're in possession and out of possession.
Yeah, you could also play a 4-3-1-2 and then have Odegaard as like a false 9 with the two strikers kind of left and right. Then you kind of eliminate the wingers though, so that makes it tricky. I think we would have to find a solution that allows for Rice and Zubimendi and Odegaard to all play, because otherwise I think it might get a bit disjointed in the midfield, right? Because you've got, I mean, unless you play Rice at CDM, And then, but then a 4-4-2, you've got the wingers who are going to end up. Oh, sure, it is tricky. It's actually a tricky one to
You
try.
can't win in every way. If you're going to have another striker, another attacker, you have to sacrifice someone. So either an attacking midfielder or a centre midfielder.
I think it shouldn't just be a complete change in how we approach our games, but I think wherein we need to impact the game in a different angle, especially towards, let's say we are in a stalemate in the 80th minute or 75th minute, when we are changing things up or switching things up. I think that's where we can be able to try and balance out by sacrificing maybe a center mid, or rather a center mid for another striker, just to give a bit of pressure up front to force that goal or to force those errors and stuff like that. So I think it can just be a technical change wherein you are trying to drive the narrative of a game as to how you want to switch things up. It shouldn't just be a total change in how we approach games, but the manner in which we can impact games.
But we do need to make some changes because, as Ryan and I have nailed on the podcast before, we've got a problem against mid blocks and sometimes against low blocks. And having two striking options does provide a different solution to break down mid and low blocks. So let's go to you, Langton. How do you feel about the signing of Victor Gyökeres, and what are you excited about, and what are you concerned about?
Thank you, guys. I think I'm one of the most excited guys. I mean, Arsenal fans right now in the whole world. I was especially looking forward to signing Gyökeres. As you forget, sorry about the pronunciation, man. It's always it's always difficult. I know I'm not the only Arsenal fan who has a problem with the pronunciation of that guy. But Gyökeres, I wanted us to get him more than Sesko. I'm not a fan of Sesko, but not that I don't like the way he plays, whatever. But I think with Gyökeres, he's a proven goal scorer. And what I've been saying, what Arsenal needs is a 20-season goal striker. And thank God the other guys have said it as well. What we have been short of is a 20-season goal striker. And the other goals will come from from our midfielders and these other players. Imagine getting a midfielder who scores 8, 9, and you've got a striker, a proven striker, who will get you 20 goals a season. I'm not talking about all the competition, but I'm talking about the leagues only. So for me, Gyökeres will definitely be our number 9, but I think not for the first few games, knowing these coaches, sometimes they'll take time to adapt to the English Premier League. So he might be coming on as a substitute, something like that, but he will be our number 9 going forward. And as for Havertz, I think I would prefer Jesus to play just with Gyökeres. And then in the midfield, I mean, I'll put Rice to play behind Zubimendi. And Zubimendi, I've watched a few of his games in the Spanish national team. I'll put him to be more offensive, and then Rice playing just behind him there. That's my take on that. But otherwise, when it comes to all the signing that we did as Arsenal FC, I'm so happy. Can't wait for the 17th of August to start.
Yes. So we've got a nice comment here from Samuel Super14, guessing he's an honorary fan. Sesko's Havertz is similar to Havertz, I'm guessing, so we don't miss anything in there. If we approach a game with height, Kai is there. So yeah, that's a good point. Kai is better with head, and that was one of my concerns about Gyökeres, is that he scored 0 goals with his head.
I was about to ask that. Sorry, I was about to ask that. How many goals did he score with his head?
He scored 0.
0. Oh, so
Yeah.
okay.
But then
Fine.
I laughed because he said he had a quick quip. Someone asked him about it in an interview, and he said, "No, it's because the Sporting wingers are terrible at crosses."
And then
So
also,
I
guys,
like.
before, can I ask something, guys? Remember when we played Sporting? Uh, our guys, I think I remember it very well. It was, who's this guy? Our defender, man.
Gabriel.
Uh,
Gabriel.
Gabriel. Yeah, I think those guys were mocking him and mocking. But why did he choose Arsenal after what happened? Do you guys remember what happened?
Yeah, no, that's why in the reveal video they should have had Gabriel doing a part of the video.
Exactly, because the guys, I remember Gabriel scored and he mocked him, and then I thought maybe, and then the guys wanted to come to Arsenal, and of all the teams, he only wanted Arsenal. I mean, why? I'm still asking myself, but if I reach out to ask the guy, I'll ask him, but I don't know.
I don't know, bro. It's an interesting one because I think you're right. But maybe he just saw it in a more playful light, and maybe Gabriel like DM'd him on Instagram or something afterwards and said, I was just joking. And so who knows what happens behind the scenes?
Yeah, I'm the same, correct. Yeah.
I think we think these guys hate each other, but I've seen even with the Springboks and the Proteas, they go and have beers with the guys after a game. So they also respect each other. So I think it's different with Haaland and Miles because Haaland said, "Who the F are you?" to Miles Lewis. Miles Lewis scarcely mocked his celebration because he's like, "This is who I am. I just scored and dunked on you, and then now we just beat you 5-1." So there's definitely an arrogance or a confidence that comes in with some of these celebrations, and then some of the time, I think they're just having fun.
Yeah, I think there might have been communication between the two, because yeah, I've been asking myself that question, but I think there might have been a communication between the two. So I was joking,
I
maybe.
want to go back to this comment
like what you're saying. Yeah.
Samuel here about Max Dalman and what a talent he is. Victor is a great signing. I like Renai said we haven't signed anyone plug-and-play type of player. I feel the new wingers we have, including Dalman in that mix, we need a striker in the box. Yeah, Dalman looks a phenomenal talent. We're going to get to him more later when we talk about the preseason games. But just a quick moment to say it's not – he's a man. He's not a boy. He's Dal man. I couldn't resist.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. He plays like he's been in the league for 10 years. It's crazy. He's incredible.
Yeah, it's really nuts. So I just want to go back to Super Caesar's comment here as well about the other signings. He said all of our new signings were starters in their previous clubs. 3 come with Premier League experience and 2 are seasoned international campaigners. Is Mosquera an international as well? Is he? Because I know he's quite young. I know he has played for Spain. So are you referring to Zubamendi and Norgard as seasoned international campaigners and excluding Mosquera from that? But Mosquera also played the most minutes in the La Liga last season out of all players. So he might be young at 21, but he had a lot of La Liga experience, which is the second best league in the world. So basically, all of our signings are smart signings. They either got Premier League experience or international experience or La Liga experience. So like Renai was sharing the last time in the last podcast, don't talk bad about La Liga players because he's a bigger Liga follower and he takes note of the La Liga players that tend to translate well into the Premier League. And he said it's a lot of them. So yeah, I think we could talk about Gyökeres the whole podcast. So I think we better move on to Mosquera. So as I've mentioned, anyone want to jump in with what I've mentioned about Mosquera and a very reasonable fee for him? I think Leipzig were also after him. So I think they're doubly pissed off now because we didn't buy Sesko and we got Mosquera and they wanted Mosquera. So Leipzig, I think, are hating us right now. Who would like to talk? Mosquera.
Yeah, I'll go ahead on Mosquera quickly. I mentioned it in the previous podcast, but when they interviewed Mosquera and they said, "How do you feel about the fact that you're going to be competing with Saliba?" and he was like, "Nah, I'm fine." He's ready, man. He's ready to challenge. He's got a strong character. And that's why I say all the guys we've signed are ready to challenge. They're like ready to play in this team, which is very cool to see. Mosquera played for as I mentioned before as well, quite a weak Valencia side, so he had a lot of defensive work to do. He was the standout player. He was one of the most mature players in the team. He was a leader in the team, and he's a kid, and he played in La Liga. And I don't know if you've ever seen the stadium where Valencia play. It gathers quite a crowd. It's quite a cool stadium. It's open air. It's very exposed. It's quite a vulnerable environment to be playing in at a young age. The Valencia fans, just like a lot of La Liga fans, also very proud Bat fans. They love the Bats and they love Valencia. So he comes from an environment where there's a very proud fan base. It's a big club with a big history. Granted, they're not where they should be now, but he's been playing at a high level, and I think he's ready. I think it's very exciting. In terms of his Spanish career, I'm not too sure how much he's actually played, but I gather Spain's a very difficult team to break into.
Mm. Yeah, we're buying all of Spain, it seems like it. We've bought, in one window, we've bought 3 Spanish players. Renai, you can go next.
Yeah, sure. I remember when Gabriel got an injury last season, everyone panicked. I mean, he was, side note, Yigores doesn't need to score with his head. We've got Big Gabi there to take care of that, so that's fine. So I think if you look into the manner in which we've got versatility in our defense, it's quite interesting, because if you look into all those guys, or most of the guys that we have in defense, they are primarily center backs. And their secondary position would be the left back, the right back. But what it gives us is the security to say that even if we can have one of the guys suffering an injury, or maybe they have a deeper form, you've got someone who's going to fill in that gap without having to try and adjust and look for a couple of different solutions or scenarios that will give us a bit of an advantage while losing points in the process. So I think right now, if there's one person who has a very, very good problem to have, is Mikel Arteta, because the amount of depth he has and the amount of talent that we have, especially in our defense. I mean, almost every one of the guys who are there. I mean, you've got center backs, you've got Saliba, you've got Mosquera, you've got Kivio, which, I mean, if you look into how he came in and filled the gap last season, it was also very promising to say he's someone that we can actually rely on. So I think the additional of someone as good as Mosquera, it's a very, very good signing for us, and it allows us to also play rotations and rest players where we need to. If you look into how we've approached the previous 2 seasons, as much as we were trying to change there and there, Saliba and Gabriel will always be at the heart of that defense, regardless of which competition are we playing. Be it a Carabao Cup, FA Cup, whatever it is that we are playing, Gabriel and Saliba were at the heart of that defense. So it gives us a bit of an opportunity to try and rest them where we need to. And also, there's someone that I also, some podcaster that was speaking about the type of nice problems that Arteta has, to say that if we are to try and play dirty and score in the first half, we are in a position wherein we can even come and bring in those guys and close shop. No one is going to break that defense. So the one thing that Mourinho once said, which it sort of makes sense if you think about it deeply. As much as the attack wins you games, you need a solid defense in order for you to win silverware. And we are at a position where in the competition that we have in that defense, it's quite encouraging. So I give this signing of Mosquera a thumbs up, and I think he will add a lot of value into our defense. So it's just a matter of Mikel knowing how to rotate them and allowing the competition to be a healthy one and give the guys minutes wherein you don't want to be in a situation wherein as much as you've got this depth, you are in a situation wherein the guys are getting frustrated because they are not being given chances. So, and it doesn't necessarily need to mean that for him to get a chance, he need to go in and replace Saliba or Big Gavi. So he can even come in and maybe you're trying to shut down the game and bring him there in the defensive mid position and try and balance things out. So there's a lot of options that you can play around.
Can I continue on from that from you, Renai?
Yeah.
So what's crazy in terms of our defensive depth? So right-footed players who can play centre back are Saliba, Mosquera, and Rice. Left-footed players who can play centre back are Gabriel, Kivior, and Calafiori. That's insane. We've got.
You forgot about White and Timber. You forgot about White and Timber, bro.
Oh, did I not say White? Insane.
I think you said.
Insane.
You said Mosquera, Saliba, and Rice.
Sorry, I meant Saliba, Mosquera, and White, and then obviously Calafiori, Kivior, and Gabriel. It's insane, and then obviously Timber. But I mean, Timber can play anywhere really. It's incredible what he's capable of.
Yeah, Timber can play anywhere on the back three, across the back four.
Unbelievable. The depth is astonishing at the moment.
Sorry, guys, can I ask something here? With Mosquera, okay. Did anyone listen to Arteta? What did he say about him? Is he planning for the future on him, or he's trying to fit him in the current squad? I don't know, but because we talk of the guy who played 37 games of the 38, and he played full matches in those 37 games in Spain La Liga last season. So did anyone listen to what Arteta said about the guy? He's only 21, remember? Yeah.
I haven't heard, but I have a feeling that it's going to be a season where we rotate more. I think Saliba played the most minutes in a season last year. Him and Raya played the most minutes. So Saliba is due to rest more. So I think they probably promised Mosquera 25, 30 games, and they promised Saliba to play less, and Saliba to maybe even play a bit on left centre back. So I think we're going to see if this season is going to be the season where Arteta really has to rotate, because now he's got the squad to rotate. And can he rotate, and can he manage a squad, and can he keep everyone happy like Man City have done under Pep, where he's got a big squad but he rotates very well. Most of the players don't play too much, and they have very low injuries because of that. So I think it's, but I can be corrected if he's had a statement in a press conference. Sibusiso, you follow his press conferences better than all of us, so I don't know if you have any comments in the comment section about what he said about Mosquera.
I would imagine personally that the idea initially, as you said, is that he comes in to fill the squad and add depth. But because he plays at such a high level, he can also compete and he can push the guys. So yeah, I think it's very exciting.
Cool. I think let's go on. We've got a lot to get through. So the next thing is transfers to come. So we've got Eze for 80 million euros, question marks. Xavi Simons for 65 to 70 million, question mark. And Rodrigo 90 to 100 million. So what are your guys' thoughts? If you could only bring one player in, who would you bring in of those three, and why?
Can I come in?
Go for it.
Yeah, I'll bring Eze. As a proven player in the EPL, it's as simple as that. With Rodrigo, he's coming from another. Yes, he's a good, very, very good player. But remember, some players take time to adapt to different leagues. But I'll definitely without a doubt go for Eze.
Yeah, I agree. I'd also go for Eze. I think I'm a big Rodrigo fan, so it's a hard one for me. But I'd definitely go for Eze. I think as you said, the Premier League experience. He's already living in London. He doesn't have to adjust to London. He can literally, it's like plug and play. He used to play at Arsenal. He really gets the Arsenal culture. So yeah, it's also not as expensive as Rodrigo. Rodrigo is going to be 90 to 100 million. Eze is a 80 million release clause. So therefore, there's nothing more. It's like we could even get him for less. We could even get him for 65, 70 million if they negotiate well the payment structure, because the personal terms are already apparently agreed upon. So, yeah, what's your thoughts, Renai and Ryan? Renai, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. I would go for Rodrigo any day of the week. But I would be okay with Eze. Looking into how we've spent, it might not be realistic for us to bring him in. But if there is a way in which we can be able to offload a couple of players, and I would take Rodrigo in. Rodrigo in that left wing, he fits in without. He's a total upgrade to what Martinelli is giving us. So I would definitely go for him. But now, here's a question to the panel. In a situation wherein we don't get to bring in anyone and we close the window with all the signing that we've made so far, how would you rate the window without bringing in Eze or Rodrigo or anyone else for that matter? And
so without sales
what?
as well.
Yeah.
So as in the window as it stands right now, how do you rate it? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying let's look into a situation wherein we don't bring in anyone else after this. We close the window with the players that we have at the moment.
So no sales. What
Yeah,
sales
with
do you think?
no.
What
Okay,
sales?
so I'm talking about the incomings. So we can still
Just
try and
incoming.
work around. Yeah, just incomings.
Oh, that's a good question. I would rate it currently an 8 out of 10. I think if we brought in Eze, it would be a 9.5 out of 10 for me. I think Eze is that much of an elevator on how we would play. So I think it would be, yeah. That's my answer. Ryan and Langton. Ryan, you go first, and then Langton.
I did rate it. I created a little calculation, and I gave it an 8.25 so far, and I would give it a 9 if we get Eze. So if we don't get Eze, I'd say 8.25. But I do think it's one of the best windows we've ever had. Or at least one of the best I've ever seen as a fan. In terms of Eze, I would bring Eze because he said yes, because he's a local guy, and also because we know he's also played in the center of midfield. And I think that adds something very interesting for us if Odegaard were to get injured, for example. So I think he's a good kind of utility player. And that does not mean I wouldn't take Rodrigo, because he is sublime. So I would be blown away if we brought in Rodrigo. I think I'm probably leaning towards Eze as well, because I think it's probably more likely.
More plausible.
Yeah, I think so. But sure, yeah, if we get him 9, if we don't, 8.25.
Okay. Langton, what would you say?
For me, with the current incomings, I'm going with 9 out of 10. And if you get Eze, guys, because this has been the best transfer window in the Arsenal FC for I don't know how many years. So if we get Eze, I would definitely go to 9.8, 9.9 somewhere there, because yeah, we've been struggling when it comes to the transfer window. And I always keep saying, had you got a striker when we had a chance to sign in January, I think we could have gone toe to toe with Liverpool until the last two games of the season, but we didn't do that. So with the current signings that we had, I'm super, super happy. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. If you get Eze, thumbs up, 9.9 somewhere there. Yeah, that's my take on it.
Okay, so I just said, yeah, rate the transfer window in the comments. Please let us know why you rate it that way so we can show yours and share. You can share your opinion. I just wanted to go back to Spuda's comments on Mosquera. He said that he played every La Liga minute bar one game. He played every minute of Spain's Euro under-21 campaign until the quarterfinals. And then he said... he also said he was also part of the Spain team that won the Olympics. So he's done really well. Yeah, he's the one part of the team that beat Henri's French side. They got to the final. Hey, the French side got to the final, and then they got beaten by Spain. So any ratings of the windows in the comments? And then Spuda said that Eze will be in the cherry on top to what we currently have. So how much do you rate it out of 10? Out of 10, Spuda. Ashwin said he rates it a 9 out of 10 with Eze. Or is it with ease? 9 out of 10 with ease or with Eze? I'm joking. I couldn't resist. So yeah, that's a good rating, Ashwin. And then Samuel wants to talk about Dayne again. So he doesn't even care about our new incomings. He's more excited about what's been produced in Hell End. Yeah, he is going to be something special. We'll get to him later, Samuel. We'll talk more about our performances in the 2 preseason games thus far. But it does raise a question like what we spoke earlier about the changing of players. And I think on one of the groups, there was someone also talking about it. On the podcast group, Spusiso and Tim were debating whether we need to bring in another winger if we've got Dayne and Wanyeri. And then before you guys came on, I was chatting with Renai. I'm a big Wanyeri fan, so I'm not saying this because I believe we should do it. But I think like if we bring in Eze, I think we should loan out Wanyeri. I'm worried that like Madueke and Noni and Eze are going to cut a lot of Ethan's minutes, and I think he's about to explode. And we saw it in the first preseason game. He was really playing well. So do you guys think that a loan out for Ethan might be a good option to like another Premier League team or to a team in La Liga or something like that? So yeah, what's your thoughts, guys?
In my opinion, if we get Eze, we should loan out Ethan 100%, because I think Eze gives cover in the center and on the left. If we got Rodrigo, I would say probably sell Trossard or Martinelli. I think it looks likely that we'll probably let Trossard go just because he's been kind of pushing for it, I think. But yeah, I think Ethan. I think Ethan is unbelievable. He's actually that was part of the reason why I had concerns about the Nani signing initially. But there does seem to be a concern about his maturity levels or his physical fitness, or there's something there. So I don't know if a loan would help or if they want to keep him in the club and work on his strength. But I would like to see him get more minutes, and I do worry if we signed Eze, he wouldn't get them. Yeah. So I agree. Yeah.
Thanks, bro. So Spusiso says he's rating the window 6 out of 10 because he wants to see how we recoup sales, and that's a valid concern. I think our sales have been underwhelming for a long time at Arsenal. I think the Balogun sale, the Willock sale have done better. The Nketiah sale was amazing. So there have been moments where we are selling better, but we've still never broken our record. I think 38 million, I don't know if it's euros, for Oxlade-Chamberlain. So we are definitely lacking in good sales. And I mean, if we sold Martinelli, we'd break our record in one window. But it looks like he'll probably stay, and it looks like, as you said, Trossard is probably going to go because Trossard has actually been on a very low wage his whole career, and now he's 29 and he's 30. I can't remember if he's 29 or 30. So he'll probably want a nice big paycheck for his last paycheck in his career. So that's why. But it sounds like he's turned down Saudi moves. So I'm not sure where he's going to go. There was the Fenerbahce links, but apparently that was from another good source. There was the Bayern Munich interest, and Bayern Munich are very generous with their wages, so he might end up at Bayern. But it looks like they've gone in for Diaz for another offer. Yeah. Yeah, Sposisa said we actually did better last season as we recouped 80 million euros. Let's see if we beat that. So, yeah. Are you talking about last season, and then the season before when we got Rice and Kai Havertz, we got 69 million euros in. So we are doing better, but I do think we need at least 3 sales above 25 million or 2 sales above 25 million to get a good amount in, and that could be Trossard and Zinchenko and Vieira and Nelson are the potentials for 20 to 25 million. So we might as well talk about sales while we're on sales now. Sorry, let me just add Renai again. So, Langton, what's your thoughts on sales, and who would you like to see us sell, and how much do you think we can get for them?
I haven't thought much about who we're going to sell, but like my brother said, if we get, but he said if we get Rodrigo and then Martin Trossard has to go, but I'm still against Rodrigo. I'm still against getting us getting Rodrigo, but I'll say if we get one of the two between Rodrigo and Eze, yes. But I'll say Martinelli has to go. But with Trossard, I'll like him to stay and to give him more minutes of play. And as of Naneri, I think if we get one of those two guys to get some minutes and game time, I mean, he has to go to one of the, he has to go out on loan because his time there of playing would be very, very limited, I think. That's the guy for the future. I'll be happy if we get one of those two players. He can go somewhere for a loan.
Yeah, so I agree. Ryan, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's sad because I think Trossard is an exceptional player and he can play with both feet. His positional play is incredible. He's got great vision. He's a phenomenal finisher. He's slight, obviously, so he's not the biggest guy in the world. But I think he deserves to be at a big team. I'd like to see him at Bayern or something like that. In terms of other transfers out, I actually read just this morning, well, actually this evening, that apparently we're looking at, we're working on Gabby Jesus's fitness, and then the plan is to actually loan him out, which is interesting. I didn't actually know that was something they were considering, but apparently there are discussions on actually loaning Jesus out. So it's not going to be a sale. So that's quite interesting. So if we did get rid of Jesus, I'm not sure what he's on, but I imagine he's earning quite a lot. If we got sent Jesus out on loan, I thought we would have sold him. But anyways, if that happened and then Ethan went out on loan, which I think would be good for his career, and maybe we sold Trossard just because I think he deserves an opportunity to earn more, as you've said. And then who else? Zinchenko, I imagine he's going to go somewhere. He should maybe look at going to Saudi. I would keep Kivior. In the previous podcast, I said I'd maybe look at offloading him, but I think I do like the depth in defense. As long as we can figure out how to get our 25-man squad right for the season, then maybe keep him on. Maybe Dalman goes on loan to a smaller, like a League One side, or do we want to keep him to develop him more? I'm not sure. I think there are options. I think there are less opportunities to sell than we think there are. So that's why I don't know if we'll recoup as much as we think we can. I still think it's a great window, regardless of how much money we bring in. But yeah, that's maybe what I'd look at if Jesus is in fact going on loan.
Just a note on I don't know, so maybe you can comment in the comments if Diamond's allowed to go on loan so young. I don't think he's allowed. I think you can only send someone on loan when they're 18.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Spasusa's commented, yeah, he can't go on loan. So he can't go on loan. So they would loan Wanyeri because he's 18 now, so he can go on loan. Diamond, they'd want to keep and nurture and continue to. He would be like a star player for the under 21s, and then kind of play occasionally for the maybe in like Carabao Cup or FA Cup easy games, and then like every now and again when there's not a like important under 21 game, because he'll be starring for the under 21s and be like the main character there, but then probably play 5-10 minutes here in the Premier League, a little bit on the, maybe start or get a 30-minute or 40-minute here in the League Cup or FA Cup. So, but he's definitely an exciting talent. I mean, I don't know what time he came on in the game today. Does anyone know how many minutes did he actually play?
No, it wasn't very long. I think it was towards the end. I can't remember how many minutes it was. Just as a quick side note, I just wanted to ask, do you know what is happening with guys like Butler or Oyedeji? And
he's been released. Yeah, he's been released.
He's been released. Okay, I thought that might be the case because he's playing with the under 21s, and I think he's 22 now. So I thought,
he was 23 or something. So when people were crying out for us to play him, he actually was loaned out. He was loaned out to a League One team, and they didn't play him. So that's his level. He wasn't good for a League One team, never mind a Premier League team. So Marino was a better option than Butler Oyedeji. So Spasisa said that Diamond played 15 minutes today. So it felt like longer because he was involved like in 3 different attacks. So really did well. Sorry, I muted some of you just because there was like feedback. So just remember to mute yourself after you've spoken, because there's feedback. So I'll also mute myself when I'm not speaking. I just want to go back to this.
I think we sent him to Accrington Stanley, I think, Butler Oyedeji. I think that's what it was. And he didn't score a single goal in the entire campaign, which is wild. So he was. Unfortunately, I don't think he was up to the standard. What's the story with Reece Nelson at the minute?
Nelson's a good question. The problem is on Nelson's side is he's just come back from a 6-month injury, so he really does he'll probably go at the end of the window if he gets a good preseason in and maybe 1 or 2 games where he has a good appearance at the beginning of the season, and maybe he'll be shipped at the end of the season. But Fulham are offering I think Fulham and Palace wanted a loan first and then with an obligation to buy. So then it's a less risky buy for them by loaning them because he's just been injured. So, and Nelson's on £100,000 a week, so it's also higher wages. So that's the other reason I know, Wasiso, you said that Zinchenko will be shipped out. I just don't see a lot of other teams offering him, matching his £150,000 salary or giving him more, unless he goes to Saudi. And if he doesn't want to go to Saudi because he wants to be in Europe close to the war in Ukraine, I don't know. I just feel like he's so invested in that war because it's his family, it's his homeland, and Arsenal have been very supportive. I just see him staying in the Premier League. I see him maybe going somewhere else in Europe, another country that's Ukraine friendly. I just feel like it's a political decision that he's making. Not only, I think he'd really do well in Italy because it's a very technical league and it's not as fast paced, and I think his technicality would stand out. But I'm not sure where he'll go. I know AC Milan was interested in Zinchenko, and I think that's why Arteta played Zinchenko as a starter against them. He was trying to like put him in the shop window. So let's see here. Ornstein said that Fulham are in advanced talks to loan Nelson with an option or obligation to buy. So yeah, thanks, Busiso. We know that Spuda likes Ornstein over Fabrizio Romano. He's a Ornstein fan. He's a Team Ornstein. I also like Ornstein. I feel like he doesn't over-report. I think Romano has over-reported a bit in some of the transfer sagas because he gets engagement and he gets clicks and he gets money from engagement. So anyway, that's another whole discussion. Sales. Renard, we haven't heard from you in a while, so let's hear on your thoughts on sales.
I think our sales, I'm looking Nelson going, obviously. Vieira also. For some reason, I thought that we were going to use Vieira as one of the negotiating points for Gyökeres, for him to go back to Portugal. But yeah, I think under the circumstances, I don't see him fitting in or playing in the current squad. The other, Zinchenko, I would also agree that he was a good buy when we bought him, and he also made a huge difference when he came in. But I think it's time for him to try and get more minutes elsewhere. I think Trossard also, given that where he's at in his career, I don't think he's someone who would be happy with just being an impact player or coming into impact games. He's at I think any move that he would make now would make more sense for his career, because after this season, next season, I think he'll be 29 if I'm not mistaken. So it would be very difficult for him to get another decent move. I think if he can get a move for him, it will be fair for him. Although I would still want to have him as an impact player, but if we are also looking into what is good for him at this point in time, I think a move away from us would also be something that is good for him. And given that we might get Eze, if Eze comes, it's a definite he needs to go, because as much as he was not a starter for the most time, or for currently, it will then limit the number of minutes that he will get access to. So I think those are the guys whom I would say we can get rid of at the moment. If we can just try and loan out the guy who's responsible for sales at Chelsea, and maybe he can get us some good money.
Yo. No comment, bro. The thing is, we can learn from other clubs, and Chelsea's sales are amazing. And as Sibusiso pointed out, now Zini and Trossard, their contracts are expiring in June, the 30th of June, 2026. So they have to find a solution for them now. So we don't want to lose them on a free in a year's time. I think, to be honest, I think we might lose one of them. I just feel like I think Trossard is the more sellable option. I have a feeling Zinchenko might leave on a free next year. I see us selling Trossard and bringing in Eze. I think, and I know Langton's heart is breaking now, but I just feel like he deserves a higher wage. And if we are only, say we offer him, and I think he's on 90,000 at the moment, and if we are only offering him 120 and he wants 150 or 180, you can't stand in a guy's way if that's what he wants to earn for his last contract. And he's like been playing at a really good level for the last 3 or 4 seasons, so he deserves a higher wage. But we know that players decline in their 30s. So we're probably not budging on a 120 or a 130 or something like that, and not offering 150, 180, which is probably what he wants. And he's probably saying stuff like, well, I outperformed Martinelli's on 180 in the 23-24 season, and in this season we were at the same level, and he's getting 180. Why can't I get more? So, I mean, these players know what the other guys earn, so they're using that in their bargaining and in their discussions around their wages. So it's very interesting. But anyway, let's move on to preseason. We've already started speaking a bit about it. The AC Milan game. What were your thoughts, Langton? What were your thoughts on the AC Milan game?
On the preseason games, I'm sorry, I can't talk much because didn't watch. I only watched a few minutes of the Milan game, and with today's game, completely, I was busy with church activity, so I didn't watch any game. I didn't watch any minute today, so it will be difficult for me to talk about the preseason games.
You're on mute, Dave.
Sorry, Renai, what's your thoughts?
So on my side, I would say going back to the Milan game, I was quite impressed with Nwaneri. He came in like someone who wanted to prove a point, and it was really, really exciting to see him so explosive with his runs, his attempts. There's actually one goal that he nearly scored, which would have been up there with the very best that we've seen any Arsenal player score. So that was quite encouraging to say that we still have him, as much as he hasn't been playing as much as some of us would have loved him to play. Coming in and give such a positive display was quite encouraging. The way Zubimendi fit into our team, it's also quite impressive. Again, he's a plug and play type of player. He came in, fit in very well in the squad. And there's also Dayne. Dayne is quite interesting. I was telling Dayne earlier that the last time I saw a youngster so exciting was when Wayne Rooney came through the ranks at Everton. Like that boy, he's playing like he belongs in the bigger stage. He doesn't fear no one. He is so exciting to watch. He passed the eye test. He is able to take on players. He doesn't respect anyone. He's someone who's there to say, I just want to play the ball. Give me the ball. I'll see what I can do with the ball. So having such a player, it's something that is very encouraging. I mean, look into the case of Lamine Yamal also is exactly similar profile where he just wanna play the ball. He just wanna have fun in the field of play. So I think it would be very interesting. I hope he would be given some runs in the game. Even if he's going to be playing 10 minutes or 5 minutes there, I think it will benefit us a lot, not this season, but the following season, depending on how his minutes are managed. But overall, I'm not really too worried about the way in which we are playing. The today's game, I only saw the later end of the game. But the way in which we are playing, it does show that as much as Mikel is trying to find how to combine or how to play our players, the squad looks very balanced, and I am honestly very excited about this coming season.
This preseason reminds me of the 22-23 season when we had like a really good preseason. We got all of our signings in early, and then we just hit the league like boom. It was so awesome that 22-23 season when we like just hit the league running, and we had a 10-point lead above Man City at one stage, and then things just fell apart. So with injuries, and I think we just didn't have the squad to sustain the title charge. So it is very exciting, Renai. It's very exciting. What's your thoughts, Ryan, on the preseason games? Did you manage to watch them?
Yeah, so two things. Firstly, I remember when we played in Thailand and in the preseason, and Lucas Podolski was on fire. He was just like going mental the whole game. And I was like, this guy is going to score 25 goals for us in the league this year. And then he didn't. But then I ended up watching the Bangkok all the Thai All-Stars in Thailand play against Chelsea, and it was like the biggest disappointment of my life because I never got to see Arsenal play in a preseason, but I watched Chelsea. I did wear an Arsenal jersey though, and I was the only Arsenal fan amongst like all these Chelsea fans, which was a proud moment for me. In terms of this preseason, firstly, I did not know Kiwior could cross like that. That was outrageous. His little cross to Bukayo Saka was insane. Then I think it was good to see Reece Nelson in the action. I think we saw that he's still got some talent. He's got some ability. I think he only came on for 15 minutes in the first game against Milan. So it was good to see that, Reece Nelson still got it. And he is a talented player. He really is a talented player. He's just playing for a very good team. So between him and Kiwior, it was good to see them getting in on the action. Dayne reminds me of, I don't know if you've ever just put on YouTube and watched Zidane from back in the day and how he glides around the field. Dayne kind of reminds me of that. He's so elegant. He makes it look so easy. He's not the strongest guy in the world, but he's like somehow the quickest guy on the field when he gets the ball. He just moves so beautifully with the football at his feet. It's astonishing. So incredible to watch him. Zubimendi is everywhere. He's always asking for the ball. He always wants to create something. I think he's going to change our world. I'm excited for him. And I think one of the cool things to see was Kepa. Really good backup goalkeeper. I think he's going to challenge Raya. I think Raya is arguably a top 3 goalkeeper on the planet. But to have Kepa as a backup is crazy, and to get it for 5 million was astonishing. So I'm seeing a lot of exciting things in the preseason, and I know it's early on. I do think Odegaard still needs to. He's not quite there yet. He's getting there, but he's not quite there yet. So we need to get him to where he needs to be. And then it was good to see Gyökeres come in, sit with the players. He did a walk-in for the Singaporean fans. That was very cool. So yeah, I think and that blue kit is sick as hell, man.
So I've just got to ask, I saw Ryan when you were doing something with your hands, you did this, and it made me think of the Gyökeres celebration. I think we've all got to do the mask. No, not over your eyes, Renai. Over your mouth.
I'm doing the Gabriel. I'm doing the Gabriel version.
Okay, come, let's everyone do it, and then we're gonna take a screenshot. Everyone do it. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Is it under? Oh, sorry.
Like that. Yeah, that's perfect.
Thank you.
It's meant to be over your mouth, not over everything, not over your whole face.
I should have taken my glasses out if you're taking a screenshot, man. Can you take my glasses? Let me do this, man.
Okay, take your glasses off. Yeah. Take your jacket off. Take your glasses off. Everyone, 1, 2, 3. Nice.
Thank you. I'll need that as well.
We'll send. We'll post it on his Instagram. I'll take the screenshot and post it on his Instagram and post a link for the podcast and say we're welcoming him from the South African Gunners.
Wow. Sorry, did you say he has joined with the guys in Singapore?
Yeah, he walked out on the pitch at the start of the game.
Wow. I missed that. Okay.
They even had him sitting next to Gabriel on the bench. I was laughing.
Really?
So, yeah, it's a good time to be an Arsenal fan, guys. It's very exciting. I think we haven't been excited about a season like this for a long time, where we also know we're really good. I mean, we've been in 3 title races and got to a semi-final and a quarter-final of the Champions League in the last 2 seasons. So this is the season where we do need to fight on all 4 fronts. It's no excuses. It's definitely the season where we can do so much more than we've ever done before. And I'm not saying it means we will be guaranteed success, but I think we know that we are more confident going into the season than we've ever been.
I don't know. Someone mentioned someone earlier mentioned something about now we've got an upper hand in lending Spanish players. It kind of reminds me of the time when we had Wenger. I mean, we had all the French players at the time. So I think one way or the other, this thing works out the way they do based on who's there and what influence they have in a certain country.
It's definitely the case. The French Connect is what it used to be. The French Connect. Now it's the Span plan. Spain plan. Spain inflicting pain. Oh, okay, let's go on. I think that's everything. I think that's all the points that we wanted to talk about. Oh, we didn't talk about contract renewals. So there was actually an interview by AFT of Saliba, and they said to him, when you're going to do the contract renewal, and he made a comment. He said something about, like, I'm hoping to get it done soon. God is great. We're going to win lots of big things soon. Like a crazy, like, interview that, like, comment that he just posted. Oh, and then I saw on the WhatsApp group, Tim, who's often on the podcast, he posted on the other WhatsApp group. He posted here. He noticed that tactical tweak today where we left Kai up top while we were defending, and one of the wingers. So it's a 4-4-2. It looked like a tweak to our shape. Kept hitting long balls to them and then hits on a counter. Did anyone else notice that?
No, but Renai nailed it there with that being an option, because clearly Arteta's thinking the same way. Interesting.
Snaps to Renai.
No, it's gonna be a very interesting season. I think honestly this is the season wherein we are going to be hated a lot for the right reasons. Yeah, I think the one thing that Arteta just needs to get right to get right now is, I think, if he can know how to keep everyone excited, I think that is the only thing that we need in order for us to win. So it's no longer a thing where how well the other teams are going to be doing, but I think keeping the squad healthy will be the most important thing to do at this point in time, because we've got everything. Every position has everyone that needs to be there. Should we have a drop in form? Should we have an injury? We've got someone who's willing and who's ready to come in and make a difference into the team. So it will be very interesting. But um, as a manager, you want to be in a situation where you are having such challenges. I think those are healthy challenges, as opposed to having a situation wherein you don't have the depth that you can be able to try figure things out whenever plan A is not working. Right now, we can have plan A all the way up until Z, depending on who we want to use at that particular game. So I'm really, really excited. The last time I was this optimistic about a season was a season where I think the first season where we had Sanchez and Ozil playing together. That was just based on the people that are coming in. Before the ball was kicked, I was really excited about that season. So the current season or the oncoming season is giving me similar vibes. And it's encouraging because we were very close. We've been at the door. I think now we have the tools to just open and introduce ourselves. So I'm really excited about this coming season.
Yeah, Langton, where's your head at? And do you think we should do predictions next week? Because it'll be 2 weeks' time. So today is the 27th. It'll be around the 13th, 12th. And then the season starts on the 17th. So we can do predictions next podcast for maybe the top 8 or something like that. Let's see, it'll be around the 10th or the 9th. We'll do our next podcast.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, I missed
Cool.
that. Did you say Langton? Then you said something. I think I missed it. If you mentioned.
Yeah, so I was rambling a bit. Sorry, I was rambling and I was kind of asking myself a question about should we do predictions today, but I answered it myself after. I'm a verbal processor, so if I talk, sometimes I'm not asking a question, I'm like asking myself a question. Anyway, so I think we've got through everything we wanted to get through. Why don't we talk about the Man United game? I think we put a poll on the one group. Do you think Victor Gyökeres should start the first game against Man United? And then another poll, do you think that he will start or will it be Havertz? So most people said they want Gyökeres to start, and then most people said that they think Havertz will start.
For me, I think Havertz will start, and Gyökeres might come on as a substitute. That's my thinking on that. But I think depending on those Valencia and Bilbao games, how he's going to play. But even if he plays good, but I think he might come on as a substitute on the game against Man on the 17th.
Right.
I think he'll come on as a substitute probably. But I really want him to score against United. I think it would be hilarious. I think it would be fantastic. That's two things I want to happen. Is I want Gyökeres to score against United, and I want Noni Madueke to score early on, so we can get over all of this nonsense. Hello.
Sorry, guys, to come in. That's my daughter. Look, he just saw me with an Arsenal. Turn it back. That's my youngest daughter.
I love that.
I'm here to be an Arsenal fan, man. Say hi to them, man.
Hi.
Begum Nandi.
Nandi, yeah. Hey, which one? Okay, shout, ne?
Thank you.
He's excited. Thanks, guys.
No, that's cool. Ashwin was asking, sorry, I must get to you, Renai, and Langton and Ryan are shared. So let me just finish one point before I start up another thinking. So Renai, go on what you think we should do for the first game of the season, and what other tactical things in the midfield and other, like who would you play as your starting lineup versus Man United against Man United in the first?
I would start Gyökeres, and I think him scoring against United. Is it home or away?
Away.
It's away. I'm praying for a hat trick at Old Trafford. Yo, that would be a dream start for Gyökeres. But yeah, I would definitely start Gyökeres as the number 9. I would have Saka on the right. I would have
Rodrigo.
I would have Rodrigo on the left. I would have a midfield of Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard. I would have, I'll go for a 4-3-3. And at the back, I would have Saliba and is Gabriel fit to play yet?
I think he's not fit yet. I think he's fit to train, but not to play.
Okay, so it's fine. I'll have.
And now Calafiori got an injury in the game today, so I'd probably have to play Kivior.
Yeah, I think I would be comfortable with Kivior starting, and on my flanks I would have Timber as well as Skelly. That would be my starting 11. Yeah, but I think if we can start by demolishing United would be a very good motivating point to say that, I mean, you start the season by embarrassing one of the Big Six. I don't know why they still call the Big Six. Yeah, but actually there might still be a Big Six if you are counting from the bottom. But yeah, so if we are to start if you are to start with a good 5-0 win, or maybe it might also be a very good time for us to avenge for that 8-2.
No, you're getting greedy now. We'll do that at home. We can't do that away.
No, we
You're
have to do it
greedy.
away, man.
You're
No, we have to
greedy.
do it away. We have to do it away, man. I
This
mean,
is the greed they spoke about in the Bible. This is the greed they spoke about in the Bible.
no. It's not greedy. It's understanding that you deserve more and living up to that expectation that you need to get more.
Nah, I'm just joking, bro. I hear you. I don't think it'll happen. I think United actually always raise their game against the rest of the Big Six, other than that Liverpool game when they got whacked. And then the City game, I think, where they lost 6-3. They've actually done pretty well against the Big Six in the last 3 or 4 seasons. So they, yeah, I think they got whacked at the Etihad and then at Anfield. So I think we'll whack them at home, but I think it'll be a tight game. It'll be a 2-1, 3-1, maybe like a last-minute goal, but we'll be like 2-1 most of the game and score in the last minute. Ashwin says, imagine we give them 8 at the Theatre of Nightmares. There's this other guy. There's this other guy on Instagram and YouTube called Boot Bands, and he calls it the Theatre of Streams because of their waterfall. He calls it the Theatre of Streams because of their waterfall, the water leaking from the ceiling.
Okay, yes, okay.
And he calls them Ratchester United. Oh, he's terrible. That guy, like, his name is Boots Bants, and he banters like everyone. He's actually hilarious. He's quite a fun guy to watch. He even like banters Arsenal. He's like, "Where's my striker? Not more merch. Where's my striker? Not more merch." And now he's like, "Finally, my striker, and no merch." So anyway, going back to the expectation, Ashwin, I think we'll think about this more and we'll do this the next pod. So we didn't actually speak about it in this pod. We'll talk about it in the next pod because then we can see more of how things have shaped up over preseason and look at our last signing. Hopefully we've got Eze over the line by then, or we'll be very close to getting Eze over the line, and then we can make a better call. We can also see, because if Liverpool get Isak, then it's very hard to like fight against that team if they get Isak. So we actually haven't spoken a lot about. Let's end the pod on just. We'll just speak for 5 minutes about the other team's business. I saw a graphic on the one group I'm on about the amount of money that each team has spent. Let me just read it out for you. Thingy. Where is this? Here it is. Liverpool have spent £295.5 million. So this is not euros, this is pounds. Chelsea have spent £218 million. Man United £140.5 million. And United is on 2 players. We've spent £136 million, but we've bought 6 players. So
That's crazy.
Yeah, we've done very well. So coming back to the team that will play against United, I think it'll be Raya, Lewis Skelly, Kivio, Saliba, Timber. I think they're going to play Norgard and not Zubamendi. I think Zubamendi, it's a very intense game for your first game in the Premier League. I think they're going to rest him and come and bring him on at 60 minutes. I think they'll play Rice. I think they'll play Odegaard. Then they'll play, I don't know, between Martinelli and Trossard, whoever's at the club. And I think they'll play Havertz, and then I think they'll play Saka. So I think that'll be the team that plays. And yeah, it's going to be exciting to see. I think I predict like a 2-1 or a 3-1 victory. Not a massacre, not yet. I think we'll kill them at home, maybe like 4 or 5-0. I don't see an 8-2 loading, but they are definitely woeful at the moment, and yeah. So Ashwin says, yeah, Liverpool are doing big things. They definitely have a good chance to defend their title. Spusiso says our 136 million doesn't include Gyökeres signing. We should be on 199 million pounds now. Okay, thanks for that. Thanks. Yeah. So this graphic was done before the Gyökeres signing. I didn't do the maths. I just plugged and played. So thanks, Spusiso, for being our fact checker. But going back to Ashwin, Liverpool are doing big things. They definitely have a good chance to defend their title. I mean, they really have spent well. After the last 2 previous seasons, they didn't spend much. They had a lot to wiggle with, but I just can't conceptualize them spending that much and then spending another 130 million on Isak. I know they're going to likely get 80 million for Diaz. They bid 63 million. Bayern Munich bid 63 million, and now Liverpool want 80. They lowered their asking range from 100 to 80 because now they know Isak is available. I just pray he doesn't go to Liverpool. Sorry, I'm talking a lot. What's your thoughts on the Isak situation, Ryan?
I agree. I think it's a difficult signing. They seem to be on a mission, though. I read that including his salary, add-ons, and the obviously upfront payment, it would end up being close to something like 225 million or something outrageous. I'll have to fact check that because it was an Arsenal fan who said it, so he probably added a bit on there for impact. But I think what's going to be interesting this season is that it's going to be a bit of a battle of the 4-3-3s, because if you look at Liverpool, if they did sign Isak, and then they've got Ekitike, a lot of teams like Mbeumo and Cunha going to United, a lot of teams, João Pedro going to Chelsea, a lot of teams are kind of working towards a 4-3-3, and I think we're going to see a lot of inverted fullbacks. And I think, ironically, I actually think Man City is going to be a really dangerous team because I think they're going to change it up more than anyone. I think we need to work on our mid-block, and I think a lot of teams who are going to start focusing on a 4-3-3 with an inverted fullback, like copying our model, are going to struggle with that. So if we can find a next level, I think us and City are actually going to be quite high up in the title challenge. I think Liverpool are going to do well. I don't know why. I don't think they're going to win the league. And I don't think they're going to get Isak. That's my opinion. And if they do get Isak, I have a feeling he'll get injured anyways. So that's just me being super optimistic and naive.
Prophesy, bro. Sorry, Renai?
Okay, I watched the Liverpool game that they played where they were hammered by Milan 4-2. As much as they are trying to strengthen their attack, their defense is also not looking so good. If they are to be pressured nicely, I think there's one thing that a lot of people don't see with regards to the debature of what's this guy? Arnold Trent. As much as he was very average defensively, he added a lot of weight into their attack. Just look into their number of assists. Actually, never mind the assists. The number of chances that he created, I think, in the past 2 seasons, outweighs. It's even way better than some of the attacking midfielders that they've made. So if you take them, if you take a Trent out of that team and look into the number of chances that will be out of the picture, it does bring Liverpool a lot closer to us before we made any signings. And if you look at it like that, even if they were to get an Isak, they would find themselves in situations where in order for them to win games, they'll have to outscore the opposition, which is a very tiring exercise. I mean, we saw the same thing happening to a team like Real Madrid. Real Madrid last season, they didn't go without winning a trophy, but it was a thing whereby they were trying to outscore the team that they were playing, which is not a sustainable way of going around managing an entire season. And obviously, at some point, it's a strategy that is bound to fail one way or the other. So, looking into how they were defending, it does give me hope to say that they are not as strong as we think they are, especially given that they are not investing heavily onto their defense. I mean, they are two defenders or Van Dijk, if he can get injured, they are in a crisis mode. They are in the same situation that we were in 2 seasons ago when Saliba got injured. So I think that is one point that I'm taking out to say that if you explore their defense weaknesses, it does neutralize them to an extent.
That makes sense. 100%. I agree.
Langton, what's your thought?
I think first, with us Arsenal playing Manchester United on the 17th of August, and then I think it's an away game, yes, and then we're playing Liverpool away again. I think those I can't remember the team that you're gonna play in between there, but I think those 3 games, those August games.
Langton? I think he froze.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, okay. If we win those games and set a standard, I mean, send a message to all the EPL teams, I think that will be good. As for Liverpool, I'll go with my brother there. I think if you check last season, Liverpool, I can't remember one game where Liverpool thrashed a team by 4 or 5 goals to nil. They were very, very good in going forward. Shame, let's tell the truth. But defensively, they were also leaking goals left, right, and center. To some of the games, they will lead they will need a last-minute goal to win because of the Saka. I mean, this Egyptian guy and all those their strikers. So they'll strike. But now with their signings, I think they're thinking more of attack, and still in defense they are still lacking. I'm sure of that. They won't go far in terms of that. But with the Isak transfer, I pray if it means that I have to make a prayer and fasting, I'll do that. That it doesn't. Please, God, go to Liverpool. I'm praying for that. If it means I have to fast, I can do that. Spend 5 days without eating. I want that guy to go to Liverpool. Yeah, that's my prayer.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oh gosh. Okay, what else do we have here from Subasiso? It says Man City signed at least 8 first-team players between Jan and now. There'll be a force, especially with Rodri. Yeah, definitely. I actually was thinking they might play a 3-4-3 Man City with Ait Nuri as a wing back, and who are they going to play at right wing back though? Or do you think it'll be a tradition? Or do you think he'll be the bombing down wing back and then they'll invert at the right back? Is that what you think, Spussy? So what do you think on Man City? Because now Walker's left, so he used to be bombing down on the right. So they might be bombing down on the left and then inverted right back. Or do you think they'll play a 3-4-3? Or because I just think that's another option. I think Xabi Alonso is playing a 3-4-3. You get, I think it's Inter Milan that also play a 3-4-3. So it's also another tactical option that has now become popular again. Ruben Amorim plays 3-4-3. So it's interesting to see how there's all these tactical changes that come and go. And as teams try and outsmart each other. I'm just glad we finally beat Newcastle, guys. Flippin' hell. I know we beat them once at the end of last season, but they were our bogey team for real last season. Yeah, so, but look at talking about Man City again, after Yusuf's comment, they got Gonzalez guy, what is his name? Gonzalez, for 60 million, and then they shipped him already. Or they want to ship him. Like, they bought him in January and they're already tired of him for 60 million. It's nice when you can buy players for 60 million and then want to sell them 6 months later. Anyway, I think we could talk all night about football. I think let's close it there. We've had a good pod. We'll have the pod now every 2 weeks, so we'll have we should have less to talk about because also there's transfers and games and so there's a lot going on all at once. When the window closes, I think it'll be just calm, just focusing on the games and analyzing the games. So we'll analyze 2 or 3 games a week. Cool. Thanks for everyone for your input. Thank you for Langton as a new person joining us today. Thank you for all the comments from everyone on YouTube. I think it worked better on YouTube today, so we'll be continuing on YouTube. There's more comments on YouTube, and more people can access it, and more people are watching, so it's going to go better on YouTube. So we'll stick to YouTube, and then just share, like, comment, and subscribe on the channel, and we will be with you in 2 weeks. And that's signing off from Arsenal SA and Gunnercast SA. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.